Hey guys, Foxdrop here. Today I wanted to do a video talking about why Heroes of the Storm made me a better League of Legends player. Now I really don't want this video to turn into some kind of elitist scrum in the comments down below. Really, the reason why I made this video is to kind of explore the notion that you don't just have to grind out League of Legends in order to become a better League player. There are skills that are useful for League of Legends that you can develop in other ways. And that is the core principle that I want to focus on today. Now for me, I'm going to be doing this from the perspective of Heroes of the Storm because that's a game I've been playing a bit more recently, but it can be something completely different as well. Of course, with Heroes, there'll be more overlapping skill sets because they're both MOBAs, but there are some skills that are mentioned specifically relating to mindsets that you can pick up from pretty much anything. I also want to make it really clear here as well that I'm in no way affiliated with Blizzard. This is no paid promotion. I am not selling out for you guys and shilling this game. This is purely me doing this on my own accord. So the first way that playing Heroes of the Storm has made me a better League of Legends player is that it's opened up the mentality in my head of being a student again. It's really easy once you've been doing something for quite a long time, like I have been with League of Legends, to shut yourself off from opportunities to learn and improve. Like for me personally, I think I was very ignorant, maybe even arrogant towards my attitude about playing League. That when I was playing, I wasn't going in to improve or anything, I was just playing the game the way I knew how to play it. But of course I know there's loads of stuff that I can improve on and should improve on when I'm playing League. But I think improving kind of took a backseat with League, whereas with Heroes of the Storm, because I know I was absolute garbage at that game, because I'm new to the game, I have no idea what's going on. Like improving and being more of a student was the forefront mentality for me playing that game. I think that I care too much about winning when it comes to League of Legends that I don't care enough about improving. So that's the first way that Heroes of the Storm has helped me, and that also brings me into the second way that it's helped me. It's helped me a lot with tilting, specifically of course tilting less, because I don't give a toss if I lose at Heroes of the Storm. Like I know I'm terrible at that game, because if we do lose, I know I probably messed up along the way somewhere, so I know there's no point blaming anyone else. And on top of that as well, even if I do lose, there's always going to be something that I can learn because I'm so new to the game. Part of that is kind of difficult to translate to League of Legends, because the reason why there's so much for me to learn is because I'm just so new to it. But ultimately it is the best mentality to have even when playing League. Not only will I learn things faster, like I was mentioning in my previous point, but I don't care that much if I lose, so I don't tilt as much either. The third way that Heroes of the Storm has helped me become a better League of Legends player is actually quite specific to Heroes of the Storm itself as a game. From my limited experience of playing Heroes of the Storm, it seems like a game that's much more focused around macro rather than individual efforts and inputs. And that's not to say that you can't carry a game by yourself when you're playing Heroes. What I mean is just that it has much more of a focus towards the team rather than the individual. You don't have items for you to gain a massive item lead. Your level is shared across the board with your teammates. But specifically what I mean when I mention this point is that Heroes has loads and loads of different maps, each with a bunch of mini objectives for you to fight over. And because of this, and the fact that the game is designed to ramp up a lot faster than it does in League, the lane phase aspect of the game really isn't as impactful as it is in League. So this means that the game is not as heavily decided in the early game as it is in League. Therefore, if you want to win games consistently, you have to have a good understanding of the macro of the map. And I found that this really helped me to make decisions about objective trading. Because in League, what I tend to do is if I see an objective to fight over, I will try and group up and fight with my team. And for me, that's quite a coin flip strategy in League. Yeah, it may work out, but at the same time, if you're just contesting things without really thinking about it, chances are you're going to get burned sometimes as well. I think Heroes has taught me that if I can't contest something, then that's fine, just so long as I'm still doing something useful on the map. And also, I was almost intimidated by this concept of macro because I didn't really know what it meant. But ultimately, it's not rocket science. If you don't feel like you can do something somewhere, go somewhere else and try and do something there. The next way that Heroes of the Storm has made me a better League of Legends player is with my confidence. This point is somewhat linked to the ones I made earlier about learning and tilting, but essentially because I don't care about the outcome of the game so much because I know I'm not very good, I don't mind making plays and pushing my boundaries. I don't hesitate when it comes to making plays because I know if I'm hesitating, it means that I'm not sure about the outcome, therefore I should just go for it so that I know what the outcome is for the future. Essentially, I'm sacrificing the immediate impact of the game in order for me to learn and get the knowledge so that I can take it into the future games. It's a similar deal with the macro as well. Like I'm not afraid to go for a specific macro play, even if I don't know if it's going to work, because if I go for it, then I will learn whether it does work or whether it doesn't work. And honestly, I feel like this is probably the most important point, because if you never know what your limitations and your boundaries are, you'll never improve. And this is why I also advocate for an aggressive playstyle when you're playing League of Legends and you want to improve. Because not only do you force the enemy team into a reactive playstyle as opposed to a proactive playstyle, but you also learn your limitations that much faster. The next way that Heroes of the Storm has helped me become a better League of Legends player is to die less. Sometimes when I'm playing League, I don't really respect the impact that my deaths have on a game. And of course I know that dying is bad, and when I'm slumping, that is the easiest way for me to recognize it, is when I'm dying a lot. But in Heroes, when you die, you don't give gold over to the enemy team. Instead, you give them experience, but more specifically, your death timers are crazy long. Like I mentioned before, the pace of the game in Heroes is a lot more accelerated. That's part of the reason why. It also ties into the fact that it's a much more macro-orientated game, therefore if you die and you're taken off the map, you stand to lose a lot more rather than just kills, gold, experience to the enemy team. So essentially, you really feel the impact of your death when you're playing Heroes. To that extent, I found myself dying a lot less when I'm playing Heroes, and it's been a very positive change to my game. But then I've been able to bring that to League as well and really think about things before I dedicate to them. Essentially, when I'm mentally weighing up the pros and cons of any decision in League, I will weigh the impact of my death a lot higher now. And I found that that's really helped me, specifically when it comes to having a more consistent performance. And lastly, a little mechanical buff to my game from playing Heroes that I've taken over to League. I found that I'm a lot better in team fights now, because when playing Heroes, it is a more macro-oriented game, like I've said, therefore the games tend to be a bit more scrappy, more skirmishy, and as such I've had more practice in how to play team fights when it comes to things like kiting, target focus, little mechanical stuff like that. And that's obviously something that you can then bring over to League of Legends. Because in League, I find that team fights really only happen after a certain stage in the game, and even then they won't seem to last very long. And also you only really experience like a handful of team fights in a single League game as well. So yeah, that sums it up. That's why Heroes of the Storm has helped me become a better League of Legends player. Like I say, I really didn't want this to be any kind of like, Heroes of the Storm is a better game than League of Legends or any of that nonsense. And of course, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, a lot of these points aren't just specific to Heroes of the Storm. There are lots of different aspects that you can be learning to improve yourself as a League of Legends player that you can get from a wide variety of different activities. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to give it a cheeky thumbs up. You can subscribe to me for more League of Legends content, and you can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, and catch me streaming at twitch.tv/Foxdrop. Most importantly, boys and girls, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.